So it's let's see, March 13th. My computer wants to be paying right now. March 13th, 2020, 5:03 a.m. Eastern Time. I live on the Eastern Coast. Okay, my computer is cooperating now. I cannot sleep. No, it's not cooperating. So, since I cannot sleep, I decided I would share a little advice and ask for your continued support in my writing avenue, as I guess you can say. I'm Casey, otherwise known as Scarlet Price, in case you haven't already known that or seen my other videos. I am looking at, I don't know if you can see it, it's my stats. It shows, I don't even see if I can turn this around. I don't want to mess with it, I'll probably screw it up. Anyway, I have a freelance writing platform called Vocal Media. If you don't know what it is, it's an amazing platform to where you are able to be a writer, an author, and explore many avenues of different genres, different things that you want to write about. There's no limitations. You can Google it. It's vocal.media. That's the correct one. I think there's something that might be similar to it and it might throw you off. But if you go to my Facebook, it's Facebook, go to the search bar for Scarlet Price 14. That's where you find all my writing stuff. And once you get to my writing stuff, then you can find out about Vocal Media. Then you can search Vocal Media and see if that's something that you want to do. They've got all the Q's and A's, how much you make, what you can do, what you can't do. You do own all your rights to what you write and everything. So, past all that. Anyway, they allow you to keep stats on where you're at as a writer and how your performance is. Like how well different pieces are. Because you get paid for your writings. Now, the pay scale isn't ideal in my opinion, because it's like pretty much pennies per person who reads it, basically. Once again, if you want to understand their pay scale, go to their website and go to the website and look at all that information. Basically, I'm not reaching my potential to get paid. Right now, it's basically a hobby for me. So this is the reason why I have done these videos. I have my Twitter, I have my Instagram, I have my Facebook. This is the reason why you have to put yourself out there, because if they don't know that you exist or that your writing exists, then how can you get paid? How can they go and read your stuff? So this is kind of like my way of doing it. So anyway, back to my stats. My stats have reached higher because of my tactics of doing this, and I appreciate everyone who has been following my journey, who has been a loyal reader and supporter and follower, and who has been reading my pieces. So right now I have 1,889 total reads. So that means that that's 1,889 individual person who has read, like different people who have read different pieces of mine. And I have about, I say 35 maybe total pieces I wrote all together. I've been writing with Vocal Media for about a year, a little over a year. I started November of 2018. And right now, my pay scale is about $7.18, so it's really nothing. Now you can get tipped. You can ask for tips. I haven't. The editors, they gave me 2 tips for 2 of my pieces, which was pretty awesome. And I've gotten a couple of tips from some of the readers, which was really awesome too. But what I wanted to do in this video, since I can't sleep, and since I noticed that in my stats it tells you which pieces are doing really well, so that it can help you in like what your readers are liking. That way it can help you know where your strengths and your weaknesses are. So like my biggest piece is How to Keep Her. That one has 346 reads total. So that's like the number 1 piece. And then my second one, it's actually jumped because that one was in the lower ranks. But since I've been advertising and putting this out, that one has shot. It's shot way up there. So now it's number 2. It's called How to Get the Person You Want. And then my third, the How to Get the Person You Want, that one has 256 people who have read that piece. And then my third piece is A Natural Need and Want for Sex. That is 192 people who have read that piece. And then the next one, it's Time to Change the Ending, and that's 167 reads. Now, all of my pieces have, okay, like the first one, How to Keep Her. My inspiration for that was my best friend, and she has a son. They're not married. Her and her boyfriend. The baby wasn't planned. It was an accidental pregnancy, but he's not a mistake or anything. The relationship was kind of going stale, and she was kind of seeing someone. And me and her was having a talk about it, and she's younger than I am. And all I ever want to do, especially with my writing, and as a person who is just a normal nobody, I'm not somebody like above anybody or like airhead or somebody that knows it all. I've hit my face plenty of times. I'm a 31-year-old single mom. I've made my fair share of mistakes, and I just would want to kind of help guide you in a way, to give you advice, so that way that you can kind of not hit your face as hard as I've hit it, and not make as bad as mistakes as I have. So like she and I was talking, and I told her, I was like, your relationship is still kind of new with him, and you guys have a child together. I understand that it's kind of stale and that you're kind of wanting the attention and you're not kind of getting it and you're looking for it from someone else. But the baby is like the most important, and that you need to put in your effort, because like to me a relationship is a 50-50 effort from both parties. So we had to talk about it, and that she needed to work more on her part, like by her giving the attention to that guy instead of giving it to the baby, her son, her partner, the one that fathered her baby. That took away from her efforts in the relationship. So I explained that to her. That's how I saw it. So once I explained this, it made sense to her, and she pushed him to the side, and then they started working on things. Things turned around, and things got better. So that was the inspiration for that story, is how to keep her. And then how to get the person you want. The inspiration for that is like, I know there's a lot of people out there that struggle with relationships and trying to get somebody that you desire. Like, you kind of get pushed into the friend zone and you don't intend to. And then that's kind of my guidance on, like, how do you avoid the friend zone? How can you navigate your way into smoothing your way into that person's how do you say, like, getting them is basically it. And then a natural need and want for sex. I mean, that's not like a provocative piece or anything. We're adults. So sorry, excuse me. That is just boiling down the simple fact that we are adults, and that I must have acid or something. I'm so sorry. That there's so many different components in a relationship that makes it survive, and that sex is part of it. And if it lacks, the relationship is going to suffer. And that piece, it talks about that. So that's just kind of like a personal opinion and thoughts, and like I've kind of like picked brains from men's thoughts and stuff like that, and women's thoughts and stuff, and it's just kind of like to help you understand, like, if you want the relationship to work, these are just my personal opinions and guidelines and stuff that I think that may or may not help you. I mean, it's up to you, and hopefully, I mean, that's the reason why I write it. I'm hoping it'll help. I mean, especially for it to climb that high in the number of reads, it must be helping people. And it's time to change the ending. That one, that's a suicidal piece. And that one I have had a lot of high remarks about. It's a very vulnerable piece. It was really hard to write. It's personal, and it's true. I had a mother reach out to me. She lost her son. He toured Afghanistan. He served his country, and she lost him to PTSD. He committed suicide. And she told me, she said, the one thing that you explained in that piece that I never thought about made perfect sense of what could have been going on in his head. And I wish that I could have known that, and that he needed what I have termed a safe haven, and that he needed that. So, that piece has saved a lot of people's lives. There was one person that I attempted to try to save, and unfortunately I couldn't. But it has been like a beacon of hope, so to speak. I've had a lot of people who's reached out. They're like, it's so brave of you to be able to reach out, to put that out there. I mean, all of this is published. This is for the entire world to see. I mean, I've had people from India, from France, from Egypt, from so many places that have reached out to me to give me compliments on my writing. So they see this. There is one piece that was called Loving You is Burying Me. And basically it was about the demise of my son's father's relationship and I coming to an end. And a man from France had reached out to me, and he told me, he said, I never thought about a relationship ending the way that it did and how you coped with it in the sense that you did. Like, there's different ways to handle different situations and different ways to approach it. And he reached out to me, and he was thankful for that piece and for the way that I was able to give him a different perspective on that. So that was very nice to have that kind of feedback. But that's all my goal is for these different pieces to help. I mean, I write about rape, I write about being a mother, I write about child custody battles, I write about death, suicide, I write about losing my sister, I write about relationships, about trying to keep the person that you want, how to make the relationship work. I write about abuse and how it's not okay. I write about things that self-love. There's a letter, like, before I got out of my relationship with my son's father. It was a letter I titled, let's see, what did I title it? Hold on one second. A letter to me. And even though it's called a letter to me, it's really a letter to all the women who are getting out of these situations, or who haven't got out of the situations but hopefully can. And then I talk about my son and, like, the memories we have together, and I write about a lot of different things. Let me read you just, like, a small excerpt of, like, the letter to me. There's a good thing that I love that I wrote. There's certain pieces that I love, like different lines from different pieces, that I absolutely love that I came up with in these stories. And all of this takes a lot of hard work because, like, I have to choose the picture, I have to choose the title, I have to go and rough draft it, go back and revise it, and then send it in and everything. So this line right here, this is the letter to me, but this is also a letter to all the women out there. I am proud of you for cleaning out all the filth from your mind, body, and soul. It will begin anew. It was a difficult lesson, but you learned. In the midst of all the darkness, I found the light, and I've climbed out of the mess that was destroying me and found the woman I always wanted to meet. And the part actually before that was another good line. I'm sorry it took so long and so many tears for you to climb out of the vortex of ugly and disgusting behavior you thought was okay. You had to land hard on your face to realize what you know now. You picked yourself up, dusted yourself off, cleaned off the blood, patched up the wounds, and put a smile on your face because you said never again. And let me read you one of the most favorite pieces. Let me read you a small excerpt of, see, How to Keep Her. Let me see if there's a favorite line that I have in that one, because it's the most, like, the favorite. This one starts out, so many broken relationships and failed marriages. Does this make us awful for this to occur? No, we're flawed humans. Not everyone will be compatible. Not every relationship will work. Let's explore why you lost her and how to keep her. I'm exploring a woman's side of things, and this is based upon my opinion, observation of other relationships, and my own failed relationships. I can't speak from a man's perspective of things of why it doesn't work or why he lost her. Let's start by saying it takes two to tango, and the woman could be at fault for losing her guy. Let's do not do any blame games or finger pointing, just real talk about things from a woman's eyes. So it starts out like that, and then it goes into about the honeymoon phase. And there's always a honeymoon phase in the beginning of a relationship where it's all good and like it's smooth sailing, but of course things get rocky, and I talk about that. So that's that piece. And then there's this piece here. I really love this line. This is my second most read piece, How to Get the Person You Want. I love the way that I ended this piece. And then I've got one more, and then I'll probably close this up because I know that I'm probably talking too much and you're probably getting bored of me. But I hope that all of this may be helping you, and that maybe you might want to go read, or that it can help you or something like that, or if you want to go share with somebody that it could help, that's great, especially with the suicide piece, because I'll read you the opening sentence to that, because I like the opening to that. So hold on one second, because there's a lot of stigma and a lot of negativity about that stuff. This one is called How to Get the Person You Want, and I love the ending that I did to this one. I said, we are adults now, not awkward teenagers, so approach the woman or man you are interested in and be confident. Yeah, you may get shut down, but how will you know? Don't let your mind run off thinking he or she's out of your league. Don't be thinking about how he or she won't like you and so on. Let that person make that decision, and who knows, it could all work out. We only have one life, and only a few opportunities come along for something great to happen, so take the chance. Now go get the person you want. Put forth the effort and take care of yourself. Remember, availability, your words, your actions, and who you are as a person are the keys to getting in. The door will stay locked if you don't try the keys. I like that one. Oh, and the one about the man in France, I love the beginning of this one about the demise of my relationship with my son's father. Loving you is burying me, because if I stayed in the relationship any longer, it's sort of a metaphor, because there's certain relationships that can mentally and physically drain you, and that's basically what it was doing to me, and it was a very toxic relationship. And that goes back to how I took some of my lessons and applied it to these writings about being compatible, about learning what makes a relationship work, what makes it fail, and all of these things because of my own lessons. So the first sentence in Loving You is Burying Me, this is the remark that I got from the man from France. It starts out, I never loved someone as I did you. I never knew loving someone would be so exhausting to where I'd want my last breath. My heart poured out love, and your valves were open and leaky. My love was escaping you, and all I wanted was for it to course through your veins. I wanted my love for you to nourish your being and to be what you thirsted for. It was unreciprocated and lonely to be unloved and unwanted. So that's the opening to that, and I really love that. And it was really my way about writing, it comes like a faucet that just runs, and that when I was in the drive-thru and I just started writing. So it's just weird how it just happens. It comes so easy for me. So let me read you about the suicide piece, and I'll wrap this up. Oh man, the computer died. Hold on a second, let me see if I can get it back up. Okay, I'm gonna end this one here. I'm gonna get the computer back up, and then I'll wrap it up. So it's gonna be like a 2-part, maybe. Well, hold on, let me see if I can get it up. Because I would really hate to do that. That would probably be really confusing. Wait, there it goes. And I'm so sorry. I mean, it looks like it's going on 26 minutes, and I don't know, like, if that's taking up too much of your time, or if I'm boring you or anything like that. I'm just trying to help you, and of course I can't sleep and everything, so I'm just, of course, trying to put my work out there and trying to let you know that my work exists and that I'm just a normal person that just wants to help people. I've had my fair share of mistakes, and it's not fun to have heartbreaks, and it's not fun to hit your face, and I would just hate for people to go through the things that I've went through, because it's not fun. One of my YouTube videos I did a break from all social media platforms because I was going through a really bad heartbreak, and there was a recording I did to this guy that I was really into, and he had promised me the moon and the stars, hopes of a family, and getting our chance that we never got. And he promised that he wasn't going to knock up his ex, that he was done having kids with her, he was done with her and all of that. But it turned out that all I was a side chick, and he knocked her up, and I was devastated. So there's a YouTube channel that I think it's called My Disappearing Act or something like that, and you can hear the recording to where I'm crying, and you can just hear the heartbreak in my voice, and me telling him how, like, like, how could you do that to me? Like, to promise me all this, and yet you lied to me, and all I am is your side piece and stuff. But it's part of my fault, and it's part of learning. And that's the reason why I'm trying to help you all, because, like, I got hurt. I got hurt bad with a lot of things. We're not perfect, that's for sure. But I take a lot of things that I've been through, and things that, like, for me as a woman, I don't know really how to speak for a man, but for me as a woman, like, I'm learning, like, men's tactics of, like, how they pull you in, and how they get you so wrapped up, and then they promise you everything. And I mean, it sounds crazy because, like, I'm a 31-year-old woman, and that's, like, supposed to be, like, teenage stuff and everything, but it really happens to older women too. I mean, it doesn't happen just to younger women. But I'm taking all of these lessons and these heartbreaks, and being a mom, and the things that I'm learning, and the child custody battle, and all of that. I'm taking everything and I'm putting it into my writing, and I'm just trying to help you. Learning from it all, and am trying to help you navigate through life, so to speak. So, the computer is loading back up. I'm going to read you one last excerpt of the suicide piece because it's pretty good on the opening piece. And then we'll close this video. I'll be making more videos because, like, you know, I'm taking time away from social media again. In a way, I mean, yeah, I'm on YouTube, but I'm not on YouTube all the time or anything. I had a death in the family, and there's just a lot kind of going on personally, so, like, this is kind of just helping, so to speak. Okay, this is the suicidal piece. It's called It's Time to Change the Ending. See if it'll load for me. In the picture that I chose for it's pretty powerful. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's got ocean, a full body of ocean with a hand reaching out. And the reason why I chose that is because it's like, you know, you could be in this body of ocean and you could feel so alone. And that's what, like, not just suicide, but like any kind of mental health that you're going through, that's what it feels like. And it shouldn't be something that is made out to be shameful or negative or that is not to be talked about. Hold on, let me scroll down. My computer's having issues, I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is the beginning of this piece. Let's talk about some dirty words like depression, bipolar, PTSD, anxiety, suicide, and I could go on. Why are these dirty words, you're asking? There is a stigma with these words, and no one wants to talk about any of it because of the ridicule, humiliation, and non-stop judgment. Get a bar of soap and wash those filthy words out of your mouth. I took 30-some pills and my heart medication, hoping my heart would just stop beating. They were prescribed to help me, not to be used as a weapon of death. It is in my opinion that the majority of America would read that and already formulate an opinion about me without knowing the why or who I am. People are so quick to judge or hear one side of the story and just run with it. Here is a story of my failed suicide attempt, an inside look to the frail mind of one that is in the dark, cold, forsaken, bottomless pit we reach. So that's the beginning of my truthful story that had me so vulnerable to open up and try to help others, and it worked. It was really hard to write about. It did hurt when I joined suicide groups and I shared it. I tried reaching out to those who were in the frail mindset, knowing that I was there and knowing what they was going through. And the one lady that I tried saving, I was talking to her for about a month, and I let her read the piece, and I told her I was here to talk to her, and I was trying to get her to open up to me, and she talks some, but you know, it's hard to talk to a stranger, and I get that. But she wound up committing suicide, and that just was like a blow. Because, you know, you want to be the hero to all the problems and to save the world, and to keep people from doing that. And it's hard to do that. But you know, if anybody you know is going through any sort of mental health, that piece I feel like may be able to help. Especially getting inside the mind of someone who has been there and maybe seeing how their mind works. And the one thing I do want to say about suicide that a lot of people probably don't understand is, like, you know, it's not that, like, for me, during that awful time that I was going through, it wasn't that I wanted to die. I wanted to stop hurting. And I think that's the misconception that is being said or thought about suicide. That people think, like, well, they're talking about suicide, so they just want to die. They just want to escape or run away from their problems. Not really. It's, we're hurting so bad, and we can't escape what we're hurting from. So the only way we can escape the hurt is because of the only option we can think of, which is suicide. So, that's something that I was wanting to say on that. So, I don't know if that helps in making you think different on that or not. But check that piece out. Hopefully it helps. Go to my Facebook. If you want to check out any of these stories, it's Facebook Scarlet Price 14. It's got my Instagram. It's got the vocal media to where you can go and check out all the stories. If you want to start writing, check out vocal media. Check out how you get paid. How to start your own writing. All of that, you can do it. If I've got an inbox there, so if you want to reach out to me and talk to me or ask me questions, that's fine. I'm here for you as a support. I try to advocate for a lot of women. I've helped a lot of men too. I mean, it's hard to help men because men kind of are like turtles. They just kind of go back under their shells and they just don't want to come out. And I've had about 4 men, I'd say, who's been in a really frail mindset, who was able to kind of come out of that turtle shell, and I was able to help. So that was pretty impressive on my behalf, I think, especially because I'm not like licensed as a therapist or as a counselor or anything. I'm just a normal human being. I just go through normal things. So I've been able to help men, but sometimes it gets taken in the wrong way. Like, men kind of think because I'm helping them that it's like, oh well, she likes me or something like that. No, I'm just a normal person that's a single mom with a kid who's focused on her health and her son, and that's it. Just trying to help people. So but I'm grateful for all that I have helped, for all the feedback I've got. People may not like what I write, and that's okay. People may not like these videos, and that's okay. Everybody has a right to their own opinions and their own thoughts, and it's okay. We're human. We're not gonna be perfect, and we're not gonna like a lot of things. Excuse me. So, I'm sorry to take up so much of your time. Hopefully this video's helped in some form or fashion. If you need to share it with someone, go ahead. Hopefully it helps. You all have a great morning. If you're on the East Coast, because that's where I'm at in the United States, and it's 5:43 a.m. here. I don't know if I'll sleep or not because I don't know, I just can't sleep. But, until the next video, or the next writing piece that I write, just go check it out. Hopefully you find something you can connect to or share with somebody, and, I wish you the best in life, and, I hope you treasure life, and, that you soak everything in and you appreciate it, because I'm separated from my son. He's 3. I've missed out and I only got to share the first year with him. I missed out his entire second year, and it's due to the domestic violence situation, for his safety. So, if you've got kids, hold them, cherish them. Life is beautiful, life is a mess, life is chaotic, but treasure it. You only got one, so, look around, appreciate everything. If you can walk, if you can drive, if you can talk, if you can hug your kids, hug your loved ones, tell them you love them, just do it, because who knows what's gonna be for tomorrow. Who knows what's gonna happen? I mean, anything can happen in the blink of an eye, in an hour, a minute, or whatever. So love life, love the people you have, love your children. So that's all for this one. So you all have a great morning on the East Coast of the United States, and anywhere else, if you're watching this, good night, good morning, or however that is. And thank you so much again for your support in my writing, and for following me, and for all your love and support.